Whoa, where am I? Am I under the water? Spongebob? Squidward? Rick? Hey everybody, I am back with another short commentary video, and if you're a persistent viewer, you may have noticed I wear the same shirt. I don't know why. I guess they've always said consistency is the key, but I should really wash this shirt. Today I'm going to be talking about a classic children's television show. I am of course talking about SpongeBob SquarePants, the classic Nickelodeon television show that started airing in 1999. The overall critical consensus of this show is that the first 3 seasons were amazing. They were just perfect family entertainment because they had jokes for children and jokes for adults. You of course have the selling chocolate bars episode, where the greedy salesman takes advantage of SpongeBob and Patrick to make his own cash selling his own entrepreneurial products. Kids will most likely laugh at this episode because the man randomly saying chocolate at the top of his lungs, or the older lady with her mother going out to dinner at the end of the episode just randomly with SpongeBob and Patrick.
So, how long have you two ladies known each other?
An adult like me may laugh at it as a deconstruction of greedy capitalists taking advantage of young entrepreneurs trying to make it into the market and be successful right away.
Suckers.
There's also the episode Squid on Strike, where SpongeBob and Squidward form a workers' strike against Mr. Krabs to get paid more, with Squidward knowing most of the points that need to get agreed on, while SpongeBob is just having fun with it. The thing that really makes it funny for me as an adult is how many lines are just using workers' union rights, Karl Marx terminology, like basic stuff that a kid maybe could like pick up the words. They would not know what it means at all. Like at the end of the episode where Squidward and Mr. Krabs are forming a deal so Squidward and SpongeBob can actually make more money and live off of the Krusty Krab. SpongeBob just goes into the Krusty Krab and he says some things I'll never forget.
I will restore the working man to his rightful glory. I will dismantle this oppressive establishment board by board. I will saw the tables of tyranny in half. Gnaw at the ankles of big business.
But those are not the episodes I am talking about today. I am talking about arguably the undisputed best episode of SpongeBob. And that episode is Season 3's I Had an Accident. This episode is notably known for the ending, where it has Patrick in a gorilla suit and a real gorilla in a Patrick suit. And it ends with the gorilla and his trusty steed George riding off into the sunset with a classic The End. And then we zoom out of the television on the horror of 2 parents watching SpongeBob with their children. Looking to each other, they shake their head, turning off the television. It is a great meta ending, kind of like saying, is there really good lessons and that children can take away from these SpongeBob episodes? And I can get behind that because it is a valid criticism. It is a valid criticism in some instances, and it is also the creators poking fun at themselves. However, I believe this episode truly sings in its use of absurd and surreal comedy while also having a simple plot. I'm not a person that believes in random equals funny, that's just stupid. But if it's absurd and surreal on top of a basic plot, I could get down with it. The episode begins with kind of a fake out where Patrick is skiing on the sand and he crashes right into the mountain and just breaks apart. We pull out to reveal that it was Patrick playing a video game of himself getting smashed into the mountain. I just think that's a very funny joke. And then, since he was playing the video game, he smacks into a mountain for real. And they really just blow past it, like Patrick just fucking died. But now it's SpongeBob's turn and he's taking this very seriously. He is a pro sand skier. And as he's riding down the slope, he passes Patrick's head. He does a little eating the pee-pee joke where he tells Patrick, don't eat the yellow snow. And Patrick's like, Oh yeah, I forgot. And Patrick, of course, forgets. He is particularly stupid in this episode, and I have a theory about that I'll get into a little later. As SpongeBob is sand skiing down the mountain, Sandy says, "Watch out for that tree." And it's literally like a pine tree with an oxygen mask, and I think that's hilarious because it's absurd but realistic that they're underwater. He passes that and he hits a rock where he goes tumbling through the air, just 360 style, and reaches a mountain where, to him, it's upside down. And he comes plummeting back down to earth. And Sandy says, "Try to land on your bottom." And Patrick, of course, thinks there's another bottom that SpongeBob should maybe land on.
Don't you have to be stupid somewhere else?
Not until 4.
The SpongeBob crashes and breaks his ass. Literally breaks his ass. This man has such a square bony ass that it broke into like a million pieces, as we find out in the next scene where he goes to the doctor.
Oh, that's gotta hurt.
Do it again, I wasn't looking.
The doctor explains to SpongeBob that he broke his ass into a million little pieces and they had to glue him back together like he's Humpty Dumpty or some shit. But he tells SpongeBob to make sure he's very careful during the healing process. He doesn't want to end up in the iron butt, which I love is a little play on the iron lung that happened during the polio virus. But we just see a man with his butt completely in this huge polio era iron butt. It's a joke that'll be funny to kids because like, oh, guy's in there because his butt broke. And then like, if you know about the polio virus, it's another joke on top of that.
Oh man, it itches.
So after leaving, SpongeBob notices all the dangerous things that had happened to his ass. And most notably, he passes a 7-mile spanking machine where a guy goes through and everyone, they're just spanking his ass. And he asks SpongeBob if he wants to go next. So absurd, but it's hilarious.
Is this where the line starts?
This causes SpongeBob to become a recluse, and he gets to stay at home with his 3 new best friends, Chip, Use Napkin, and Penny. And Sandy and Patrick try to show SpongeBob what he's missing in life, that you can have fun and be safe outside, that leads to just great comedy, such as Patrick washing an old person twice. There's also a joke in there where Sandy's giving Patrick a piggyback ride, and Patrick doesn't get off and doesn't stop laughing once they enter the house, which also lends to my theory that I'll be getting at towards the end. There's then a point where they try to surprise SpongeBob for his birthday, even though I don't think it's his birthday, but it could be. And SpongeBob has a party with his 3 new best friends, with Penny just giving such a lovely, insightful solo.
Take it away, Penny!
That right there is the mail. Now let's talk about the mail. Can we talk about the mail, please, Mac? I'm dying to talk about the mail with you all day, okay? Pepe Sylvia. This name keeps coming up over and over again. Every day, Pepe's mail's getting sent back to me. Pepe Sylvia, Pepe Sylvia. I look in the mail. Well, this whole box is Pepe Sylvia. So I say to myself, I gotta find this guy. I gotta go up to his office. I gotta put his mail in the guy's goddamn hands. Otherwise, he's never gonna get it. It's gonna keep coming back down here. So I go up to Pepe's office, and what do I find out, Mac? What do I find out? There is no Pepe Sylvia. The man does not exist, okay? So I decided, oh, shit, buddy, I gotta dig a little deeper. There's no Pepe Sylvia, you gotta be kidding me. I got boxes full of Pepe. All right, so I start marching my way down to Carol and HR, and I knock on her door and I say, Carol, I gotta talk to you about Pepe. And when I open the door, what do I find? There's not a single goddamn desk in that office. There is no Carol in HR. Mac, half the employees in this building have been made up. This office is a goddamn ghost town.
That Penny has the most beautiful voice.
After this, Sandy and Patrick have to come up with a big plan, something that'll get SpongeBob out of the house. And that's where the gorilla comes into play. Sandy and Patrick stage a gorilla murder, where Patrick dresses up as a gorilla and pretends to violently attack Sandy. Of course, Patrick, being as idiotic as he is, starts dancing, doing these weird little moves. And that leads us to another Patrick coming into frame, carrying 2 ice cream cones, as Sandy notes about the dual Patricks. Patrick says that he's been in the gorilla suit this whole time, while the other Patrick pulls down his skin, unbirthing a real gorilla, or just a man in a gorilla costume. The gorilla starts attacking Sandy and Patrick for reals, with SpongeBob urged on to help his friends. He then does so, causing him to get physically ripped in half right down the middle. I think SpongeBob then comments on what a real gorilla is doing underwater. This causes the gorilla to look back on his trusted steed, George, with George suggesting, let's get the heck out of here. They ride off into the sunset with SpongeBob ripped in half, walking with two half bobs with Sandy and Patrick, as cursive writes out the end. And as we all know, pans out to the parents disgusted at what they saw on television, turning off the TV and the episode itself. This leads me to my theory that Patrick in the gorilla suit was not the real Patrick at all. The Patrick who was the real gorilla is actually Patrick in the real gorilla costume. That's why there's a man under there. That man is Patrick. And this theory is why Patrick after season 3 gets really, really, really dumb and is not the same insightful, critical thinking Patrick we had in the first 3 seasons. While he may have been dumb, he tried to help SpongeBob, and SpongeBob looked up to him, with Patrick actually giving him some okay advice from time to time. So I really believe it was the real SpongeBob and Patrick riding off into the sunset, ending that after this season they're truly gone. And this whole episode, I think, is just a breeding ground to these overanalyzed, absurd kids shows where it is wacky and surreal, but what can you get from it? Don't be a homebody. Don't just sit inside with your friend's penny chip and use napkin. There is a moral for children in the episode, but I think as an adult it's funnier to just look at this as a absurd, surreal comedy short instead of a moralistic episode of SpongeBob. So that's the video. I should probably get the hell out of Bikini Bottom before I run out of air. Bye.